It was a tough year for the Philippines. It was a time that tested the resolve of our leaders and our people in dealing with tragedy and tears brought by a series of natural and man-made calamities. But because of our commitment to each other, we as a people passed the test which brought us triumph and shows that our economy is solid and strong. And tonight we have with us NEDA Assistant Secretary General, Ms. Rosemarie Edillon. Good evening, ma'am, and welcome again to NewsLife. Ma'am, today NEDA Secretary Balitaan reported on the economic performance of the country for 2013. Now, what contributed to this solid economic performance despite so many calamities that hit the country?
It's still the confidence of our peoples, the business and the consumers, and the good governance, of course.
Now, ma'am, what impact will the devastation left by Yolanda on the prospects of the economy for next year?
We think that well, for sure it will shave some points in the growth rate, but we are confident that with the reconstruction, then we can actually see a turnaround of this adverse impact.
And now looking at this, which sectors of the economy now contributed to the country's solid gains in 2013?
It was still industry, led by construction and manufacturing. And in the service sector, that will be your real estate, business activities, and tourism.
Now, ma'am, going back to the NEDA strategic plans that are ongoing, tomorrow the country's development partners will witness the NEDA's presentation of the reconstruction plan for Yolanda in the devastated areas. It's called RAY. Now, what is the plan?
The assistance on Yolanda. What we did there was really to come up with an estimate of the damage and the loss and the needs using internationally accepted methodology and using, of course, the best available data that we have. Now, this one will give us a guide on how we should be implementing this assistance, and so that our development partners would also know how they could intervene. And this one also, you know, it's like you said, it's strategic, it will be coordinated, it is phased. So we have programs and interventions that are for the quick, immediate term, for the short term, and for the medium term. It's also cumulative because each phase should build up on the achievements of the previous one. And it's also flexible, so that as new information becomes available and as the economic actors adjust to their new situation, then we can also adjust our program accordingly.
Now, ma'am, how much of the plan right now is being implemented?
Actually, the quick and immediate, the critical, what we call the critical immediate interventions are already on the ground. So we're talking about the cash for work program, the construction of the bunkhouses, and other relief that are also going on there.
Ma'am, tomorrow, what kind of audience are we expecting? Who will be present from the international groups?
We are actually expecting 50 participants from the diplomatic corps. I think a dozen or so from the multilateral agencies.
Now, ma'am, aside from the funding from the national budget for 2014, I think it's around 100 billion pesos. Now, how much are we expecting more to be committed by our development partners?
That we will have to see tomorrow. What will happen tomorrow is we will present to them the extent of the impact of Yolanda, and the extent that we need is needed in order to recover, in order for there to be reconstruction of the physical damage, and for there to be economic recovery and rebuilding of the communities.
Approximately, will it be much bigger than the initial amount that is being provided by the national government?
Yes, actually, but we will need to discuss first the context and the methodology, so that everybody will understand what that bottom line implies.
Now, with that, ma'am, how long will the reconstruction and recovery take?
We're programming it for 4 years. We think a lot of the infrastructure, the damaged infrastructure, can already be rebuilt by late next year, finished by late next year. But some other infrastructure will have to take probably until 2017.
Ma'am, you mentioned it might take 4 years. Now, how are we going to ensure that the money will flow at the right place? And looking also at 2016, it's going to be a presidential election. How do we ensure that this will continue even after?
Yeah, so what will happen is we're going to have, with the UNDP actually, and the Office of the Civil Defense, will be conducting a more comprehensive post-disaster needs assessment. This is what is needed to be able to pin down even the medium-term and longer-term needs. And as soon as this one is finished, and that is, I think, January or February of next year, we will be coming up with a more comprehensive plan and firming up the numbers and really coming up with a program, with a medium-term program to assist the Yolanda victims.
Now, ma'am, with this kind of massive rehabilitation and reconstruction phase, now will this boost economic growth in the Philippines?
Oh yes, yes. Especially because the massive needs in the area is really on construction, and we're actually on our manufacturers, those manufacturers of construction materials, and so this will actually provide a multiplier effect, not just for Central Visayas but also for the rest of the economy.
Now, will this also entail giving more jobs here locally?
Yes, in fact, TESDA is already coming up with a program to train the workers in the area, to train them on the skills that we think will be needed because of these reconstruction efforts.
And ma'am, a final word from you?
It's been a tough year, yes, but we've had so many accomplishments, and we did it as a people, of course, with the leadership of our president. We've had so many firsts, the investment grade credit upgrade, of course, and although we had the Typhoon Haiyan, again, or Typhoon Yolanda, the most powerful typhoon ever, I think we will come out of this much stronger.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much for joining us here tonight at NewsLife. That was Miss Rose Edillon, Assistant Secretary General of NEDA. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.